so much at stake tonight for the Never Trump movement. If Senator Ted Cruz does not win Indiana, he could reportedly lose major support from anti-Trump donors who've been spending millions to help him in battleground states. If that happens, where does the Stop Trump campaign go from here? Charles Krauthammer is a Fox News contributor and joins us now. Charles, what about this Stop Trump movement and its status? Where do you think going forward?
Well, I think it dies if what it looks like is going to happen happens. If Cruz loses, and according to the polls, it would be somewhere in double digits. There is no Stop Trump campaign. Trump will have the nomination. I think the further question is, will Trump be able to bring in some of those people? Remember, Cruz has now a not insubstantial following. He doesn't have enough to win the nomination, but when you have 550 delegates, you represent quite a large segment, a minority segment, of course, of the electorate. And the question is, will Trump reach out? And that's why I think what he did today is so puzzling. He's way ahead. He's got the nomination in his pocket, and yet he floats or repeats this story from National Enquirer, which is weird Twilight Zone stuff, about Ted Cruz's dad being associated with Lee Harvey Oswald, who was the Kennedy assassin. And that is what set Ted Cruz off. I'm not sure he planned any of the vitriol he launched at Trump today, but it was like his reaction after the attack on his wife. Attack on his wife, attack on his dad. If you want to reconcile with somebody, if you want to stand on the stage at the end of the convention raising his hand, that's not what you do. But I think what Trump said, I think it was yesterday or the day before, is important. I want party unity, but I don't need it. I can win without it. And that part of the Stop Trump segment that was behind Cruz may find itself in a position where they will follow him. I can't imagine him holding up Trump's hand on the last day of the convention.
Charles, certainly not from what we saw today, where Ted Cruz, did what many of his supporters had been urging him to do for months, which was go after Trump directly. And Cruz had spent a lot of time mocking the media for trying to foster a cage match between the two of them. Today, the voters got that, and here's just a little of Ted Cruz.
This man is a pathological liar. He doesn't know the difference between truth and lies. He lies practically every word that comes out of his mouth. Donald Trump is a serial philanderer, and he boasts about it. This is not a secret. He's proud of being a serial philanderer. I want everyone to think about your teenage kids. The President of the United States talks about how great it is to commit adultery, how proud he is. Describes his battles with venereal disease as his own personal Vietnam.
How do you think that plays?
It doesn't play. And it doesn't play for two reasons. One is it's completely unmodulated. Whatever the substance of his charges, launching them like that, particularly at the 11th hour when you look to be on the edge of political extinction, looks like desperation. Second, where was he for the first 3, 4, 6, 7 months of this campaign? Where was he? He was the one candidate of the 16 that began to dwindle who spoke most favorably of Donald Trump, called him my friend. After the episode, I think it was the episode where Trump hesitated to disavow David Duke, Cruz refused to criticize him, as with a lot of other elements when he attacked John McCain. So when you do that after all that time praising him, it looks to be insincere and desperate.
Charles, thank you.
My pleasure.